Throughout history, humanity has always tried to measure time and understand its passage, but for some creatures, the years do not seem to carry the same weight. While many species live only a few decades, others defy the logic of longevity, resisting time in almost unbelievable ways. Amid deep oceans, dense forests, and even in human coexistence, there are living beings whose existence spans centuries, leaving scientists and curious minds perplexed by their adaptations and resilience. But what makes some of these creatures live for so long? Genetics, environment, or perhaps a combination of factors not yet fully understood? Among surprising records and scientific discoveries, we will explore the impressive longevity of some of the oldest creatures on the planet. Who are these beings that challenge the passage of time? Hello, restless minds. I am Code, and this is Discover It, where curiosity knows no limits. Subscribe and help the channel grow, because every time you like, comment, or share, you're helping us bring these discoveries to more people. Together, we can create a community where curiosity can change the world. And now, without further ado, let's get to the video. Sailing through the icy waters of the Arctic, the bowhead whale is one of the most impressive creatures when it comes to longevity. Scientific studies indicate that these marine giants can live for over 200 years, with some records showing specimens surpassing 268 years. But how did researchers reach this conclusion? In some hunted whales, fragments of 19th century harpoons were found lodged in their bodies, concrete evidence that these animals were alive long before any modern technology existed. Additionally, the analysis of amino acids in their eyes revealed an age estimate far beyond that of any other known mammal. Now, tell me, have you ever imagined an animal that might have been born before the invention of a light bulb? That's right, this whale was already swimming around before we even thought about electricity. What makes this longevity even more fascinating is the species' unique biology. The bowhead whale possesses genetic mutations that seem to slow down cellular aging and provide resistance to diseases like cancer, something that intrigues scientists researching human longevity. Moreover, its adaptation to the extreme Arctic environment reduces the threat of predators and common infections found in warmer waters. But will this resilience be enough to protect them from environmental changes and human actions? Among all official records of human longevity, none surpasses that of Jeanne Calment. Born in 1875 in France, she lived until 1997, reaching an impressive 122 years and 164 days. Her life spanned 3 centuries and witnessed historical events such as the 2 World Wars, the Industrial Revolution, and the moon landing. Unlike others who claimed to have lived longer but lacked proof, Jeanne's longevity was rigorously verified by experts who analyzed historical documents and civil records to confirm her age. Her case is one of the most well-studied in gerontology, the branch of science that investigates human aging. But what allowed Jeanne Calment to live for so long? Some of the factors pointed out include favorable genetics, an active lifestyle, and a balanced diet. Until she was 117, she still engaged in light physical activities and maintained a socially active routine. Doctors who followed her case observed that her mental health remained sharp until her final years, something rare for individuals reaching such advanced ages. However, was Jeanne just an extreme exception, or can science uncover the secrets of longevity for future generations? In the depths of the ocean, where time seems to move differently, there exists a mollusk capable of living for centuries without showing obvious signs of aging. The ocean quahog, a type of bivalve mollusk found in the North Atlantic, is one of the longest-living creatures ever recorded. The most famous specimen of the species, nicknamed Ming, was discovered off the coast of Iceland and astonished scientists by revealing an estimated age of 507 years. This means that this mollusk was already alive before historical events like the Protestant Reformation and the peak of the Ottoman Empire. But how do researchers determine the age of such an animal? The answer lies in the growth layers of its shell, which function like tree rings. Each year, a new layer forms, allowing researchers to make precise measurements. The most fascinating aspect is that, unlike many organisms that age and deteriorate over time, the ocean quahog maintains an extremely slow rate of aging. Its reduced metabolism and the cold temperatures of deep waters may be the key factors responsible for its longevity. But could this natural secret be applied to extend the lifespan of other species, including humans? Among marine creatures that intrigue scientists and biology enthusiasts, lobsters hold a special place. Unlike most animals, these crustaceans do not follow a conventional aging process. They continue to grow and regenerate throughout their lives without showing typical signs of cellular deterioration. Some lobster species have been recorded to live over 100 years, and one of the oldest documented specimens, named George, was an astonishing 140 years old when captured. But how do they manage to defy time in this way? And what if I told you there's a creature that practically doesn't age? Like, if not for accidents or predators, it could live indefinitely. Lobsters are basically the Highlanders of the sea. The answer may lie in the enzyme telomerase, which constantly repairs telomeres, the structures that protect the genetic material of cells. While most organisms experience a gradual shortening of telomeres, leading to aging and cell death, lobsters continue regenerating their cells indefinitely. However, this does not mean they are immortal. Continuous growth requires vast amounts of energy, and eventually molting their shell becomes an exhausting and risky process. But if science could understand and apply this mechanism, could we slow down human aging? In the rivers and swamps of southern Africa lives a crocodile whose history spans generations. Henry, a Nile crocodile, was born around 1900 and was captured in 1903, making him one of the oldest recorded reptiles. Today, at over 120 years old, he continues to amaze scientists and visitors who observe him in his protected habitat. Crocodiles, in general, are known for their impressive longevity, living between 70 and 100 years in the wild. But what makes Henry such an extraordinary case? The answer may lie in the species' robust biology. Crocodiles have an efficient metabolism, a strong immune system, and tough skin, providing them with protection against many diseases and natural predators. Additionally, their opportunistic behavior and semi-aquatic lifestyle contribute to their long-term survival. In Henry's case, living in captivity and receiving regular care may have been a decisive factor in his exceptional longevity. But had he been in the wild, would he have managed to survive for so long while facing the challenges of his natural environment? In the skies above the Pacific Ocean, a Lyson albatross defies all expectations about bird longevity, known as wisdom. This female was first banded in 1956 and has been monitored by researchers ever since. It is estimated that she was born around 1951, making her the oldest wild bird ever recorded at over 70 years old. While most birds live only a few decades, Wisdom continues to amaze scientists not only with her age, but also with her impressive reproductive ability. Until recent years, she was still laying eggs and raising chicks, challenging conventional understanding of the bird life cycle. But how can a bird live so long in such a challenging environment? Albatrosses spend most of their lives at sea, facing storms, predators, and food scarcity. However, their incredible physical endurance and flight skills allow them to cover enormous distances without expending much energy. Additionally, the absence of natural predators on the islands where they nest may be a crucial factor in their prolonged survival. But will Wisdom continue breaking records, or is her time in the sky running out? In the depths of the Antarctic Ocean, where sunlight never reaches and temperatures are freezing, lives a creature that defies the passage of time in an almost unbelievable way. The giant volcanic sponge, one of the largest and most resilient of its kind, is estimated to be an astonishing 15,000 years old. This extreme longevity makes it one of the oldest living beings on the planet. Unlike animals with complex organs and systems, marine sponges have a simple body structure, no brain, heart, or muscles, but an incredible ability to filter ocean water for nutrients. Their growth is so slow that some may take centuries to reach a significant size. Now, get this, there's a living being that could be over 15,000 years old. That means this sponge was already there when the first humans started planting corn. But what makes this sponge so resistant to time? The answer may lie in its extremely low metabolic rate and the stability of the environment where it lives. The deep ocean undergoes very few changes over millennia, protecting these creatures from drastic temperature shifts and predator threats. Additionally, their cells continuously and efficiently regenerate, preventing the cumulative damage that causes aging in most living beings. Could this extraordinary longevity reveal secrets about cellular regeneration and even offer clues on how to extend the lifespan of other organisms? In the heart of India, an elephant defies all expectations about the lifespan of its species. Vatsala, a female Asian elephant, has surpassed 100 years of age. An impressive feat considering that the average lifespan of these animals ranges from 60 to 70 years. Officially recorded as the oldest elephant in the world, Vatsala has survived generations of environmental and social changes, becoming a living witness to modern history. Despite her advanced age, she still moves, although with visible signs of physical wear such as loose skin and a trunk that drags along the ground. But what has allowed Vatsala to live for so long? One possible explanation is the controlled environment in which she has spent most of her life. Unlike wild elephants, which constantly face threats such as illegal hunting and habitat loss, Vatsala has received regular care and a balanced diet, factors that may have contributed to her impressive longevity. However, the question remains, could other elephants reach such advanced ages if they were protected in the same way, or is Vatsala simply a rare case of nature? In the dark, icy waters of the North Atlantic, a silent predator glides slowly, carrying centuries of history with it. The Greenland shark is one of the oldest fish on the planet, with some specimens estimated to be over 500 years old. This exceptional longevity was discovered through an innovative method that analyzes the crystalline structures in their eyes, revealing the approximate age of the animal. One of the specimens studied by scientists was born around the year 1500, a time when Leonardo da Vinci was still alive and European civilizations were exploring the New World. But what allows these sharks to live for so long? Their extremely slow metabolism is a crucial factor. They grow only about 1 centimeter per year, moving sluggishly in cold, deep waters where energy expenditure is minimal. Additionally, their natural environment has few predators and offers little exposure to diseases and external threats. However, this same biological slowness comes at a cost. These sharks only reach sexual maturity at around 150 years old, making reproduction an incredibly long and challenging process. Does this extreme adaptation to longevity make them more vulnerable to human exploitation and oceanic changes? Cats are known for their agility and independence, but some defy the odds and live far beyond the expected lifespan. The oldest recorded domestic cat was Cream Puff, who lived an astonishing 38 years, an impressive feat considering that the average lifespan of a domestic cat ranges from 12 to 18 years. Currently, the title of the world's oldest living cat belongs to Flossie, a 28-year-old feline who still enjoys life in her home in the United Kingdom. But what allows some cats to surpass the 3-decade mark, while others barely make it halfway? Can you imagine a cat that has lived long enough to see 3 generations of the same family? Well, there was one feline that lived past 38 years. That's like a feline version of a human centenarian. The answer may lie in a combination of genetics, veterinary care, and lifestyle. Cats that live indoors with a balanced diet and regular medical checkups tend to have longer lives than those exposed to external dangers such as predators and diseases. Additionally, certain breeds seem to have a greater predisposition for longevity, while factors such as stress and obesity can significantly reduce life expectancy. But could future advancements in veterinary medicine allow more cats to break these longevity records? Amid the mountainous landscapes of Utah, USA, there exists an organism that challenges the very definition of time. Known as Pando, the aspen grove is not a collection of individual trees, but rather a single clonal colony connected by an extensive underground root system. This living structure is considered one of the oldest on the planet, with an estimated age of 880,000 years. This means that while human civilizations have risen and fallen, Pando has continued to grow, silently resisting environmental changes. But how can an organism remain alive for so long? The key lies in its method of reproduction. Instead of relying on seeds to generate new trees, Pando expands by cloning itself, creating genetically identical trunks from its roots. This allows the colony to survive even when individual trees die. However, despite its impressive longevity, Pando faces increasing threats such as human impact and climate change. Will this colony be able to withstand thousands more years, or are we witnessing the final centuries of its existence? In the depths of the Pacific Ocean, there lives a fish whose longevity defies expectations in marine biology. The rockfish belongs to a group of species known for their extremely long lives. Some of them can live for over 200 years, becoming silent witnesses to centuries of changes in the marine ecosystem. Their slow growth and efficient metabolism allow these fish to survive for so long, but scientists are still trying to fully understand the mechanisms that slow down their aging process. One of the most fascinating discoveries about the rockfish lies in its DNA. Recent studies have identified specific genes linked to cellular regeneration and disease resistance, which could explain its incredible longevity. This raises an intriguing question. Could these findings be applied to develop life-prolonging therapies for humans? While science seeks these answers, commercial fishing poses a constant threat to these centenarian fish, which take decades to reach reproductive maturity. Can we protect these species before their longevity becomes nothing more than a historical footnote? Scattered across the cold waters of the North Pacific, the red sea urchin is one of the marine creatures most resistant to aging. Unlike most animals, which show clear signs of deterioration over time, these invertebrates seem to maintain their biological functions intact even after more than 200 years of life. Studies indicate that, unlike many organisms that accumulate cellular damage over the years, the red sea urchin retains its ability to regenerate and reproduce actively throughout its entire existence. But how is this possible? The answer may lie in its metabolism and the absence of natural predators in certain regions. Its body possesses an impressive capacity for self-repair, regenerating tissues efficiently, which protects it against diseases and the wear of time. Additionally, the cold temperature of the waters where it lives reduces its metabolic rate, slowing down the aging process. This biological resilience raises an intriguing question. Has nature already discovered the secret to immortality, and we just haven't fully understood how to apply it yet? In the gardens of the government house of St. Helena, a small island in the Atlantic, lives a creature that has witnessed changes few humans could imagine. Jonathan, a Seychelles giant tortoise, was born around 1832, making him the oldest recorded land animal. At over 190 years old, he has survived revolutions, world wars, and the advancement of technology, all while living a peaceful life under the care of multiple generations of humans. His extraordinary longevity has turned Jonathan into a symbol of the resilience of the natural world. But what makes a tortoise live for so long? The answer may lie in its incredibly slow metabolism and the absence of natural predators. Unlike other animals that need to expend large amounts of energy to hunt or escape danger, Giant tortoises lead a laid-back lifestyle, consuming abundant vegetation and moving slowly and efficiently. Despite his advanced age, Jonathan remains active and healthy, although he has lost his vision and sense of smell over time. But is his extreme longevity just a rare trait of his species, or could the secrets of his aging teach us something about extending the life of other living beings? In the depths of the oceans, where light barely penetrates and life seems to follow its own rules, there exists a group of creatures that may be older than any other known multicellular life form. Ctenophores, also known as comb jellies, are bioluminescent marine organisms that have existed for at least 700 million years, making them one of the oldest species on the planet. Unlike jellyfish, with which they are often mistaken, ctenophores do not have cnidocytes, stinging cells, but instead use rows of cilia for movement, which reflect light in a mesmerizing way. But how has such a fragile organism survived for hundreds of millions of years? The answer may lie in its incredible adaptability. These creatures are found in virtually every ocean, from surface waters to the deep abyss. Additionally, they possess a unique method of regeneration. They can lose body parts and regrow them effortlessly, ensuring survival even in hostile environments. Could this impressive regeneration mechanism hold clues about how life perpetuates itself across the ages? Hidden beneath the sediments of the North Pacific coastal waters, there lives a mollusk whose unusual appearance conceals an impressive feat. The geoduck can live for over 170 years. This giant bivalve, easily recognized by its long siphon extending out of its shell, is one of the longest-living shellfish in the world. Despite being a frequent target of commercial fishing, many specimens continue to grow slowly under the sand, accumulating decades and even centuries of silent existence. But what is the secret to such a long life? The key may lie in its extremely slow metabolism and the absence of direct predators once it reaches maturity. The geoduck spends most of its life buried, filtering plankton from the water without needing to move or expend much energy. Additionally, its shell forms growth rings similar to those of trees, allowing scientists to determine its age with precision. But could commercial exploitation, combined with climate change, drastically reduce the population of these incredible mollusks before we fully understand the factors behind their longevity? In the vast and mysterious ocean, where life takes on unimaginable forms, there exists a creature that may have found the key to defying death. Turritopsis dohrnii, better known as the immortal jellyfish, possesses one of the most intriguing biological mechanisms ever observed. It can reverse its life cycle, returning to the juvenile stage whenever it faces adverse conditions. This process, known as cellular transdifferentiation, allows this jellyfish to essentially be reborn countless times, making it theoretically biologically immortal. But how does this phenomenon actually work? Hold everything. There's a creature in the ocean that can be immortal. Like, when things get tough, it just rejuvenates and starts all over again. If that's not a glitch in the Matrix, I don't know what is. Unlike most organisms, which follow an irreversible life cycle from birth to death, this jellyfish can reprogram its adult cells to return to a primitive state. Whenever it suffers physical damage, faces food scarcity, or encounters drastic environmental changes, it simply regenerates and starts its life anew. However, this does not mean the species is indestructible, as it can still be killed by predators or diseases before managing to reverse its age. But could this incredible biological process inspire scientific advancements in cellular regeneration and the fight against human aging? In the world of primates, where the average lifespan rarely exceeds 50 years, one chimpanzee defied all odds. Little Mama, one of the oldest chimpanzees ever recorded, lived to be 77 years old, decades beyond the average for her species. Discovered in the 1950s, she is believed to have been born around the 1930s, making her one of the rare cases of primates reaching such an advanced age. Throughout her long life, she spent most of her time in captivity, which may have been one of the key factors responsible for her exceptional longevity. But what exactly allowed little Mama to live for so long? In addition to the veterinary care and balanced diet she received, her social behavior may have been a determining factor. Chimpanzees are highly intelligent animals that form strong bonds within their groups, which can reduce stress, a major factor in shortening the lifespan of many animals, including humans. However, unlike some other primates that remain agile even in old age, little Mama spent her final years with reduced mobility, a reminder that despite her impressive longevity, time eventually takes its toll. Could future scientific advancements allow more primates and even humans to reach such extraordinary ages? On the islands of New Zealand, a prehistoric reptile continues to defy time. The tuatara, often mistaken for a lizard, is actually the last surviving member of a group of reptiles that existed in the time of the dinosaurs over 200 million years ago. This unique animal can live for more than 100 years, making it one of the longest-living reptiles on the planet. Additionally, tuataras have an incredibly slow growth rate, continuing to mature for up to 35 years before reaching full adulthood. But what makes it a true living relic? This one is practically a living dinosaur. The tuatara has been around since before humans even set foot in New Zealand. Imagine that this creature has seen it all and is still going strong. The answer lies in its unique biology. The tuatara has an extremely low metabolism adapted to New Zealand's cold climate, allowing it to conserve energy and minimize cellular damage over time. Additionally, it possesses a rare feature among vertebrates, a third eye, known as the parietal eye, which helps regulate its circadian rhythm and detect light, although it loses functionality as the animal ages. Despite its impressive resilience, the tuatara faces threats from introduced predators on the islands where it lives. Will this species be able to withstand environmental changes and continue its lineage that has survived for millions of years? Throughout nature, longevity takes on different forms, challenging our understanding of aging and the passage of time. From turtles that live for centuries to marine creatures that defy death, each organism presented here possesses unique adaptations that ensure its extraordinary survival. Whether through reduced metabolism, cellular regeneration, or sheer environmental resilience, these creatures show us that science still has much to learn about the limits of life. Could humanity one day unlock and even replicate some of these mechanisms to extend its own existence? If you enjoyed this journey of discovery, don't forget to leave a like, share with your friends, and comment below on what fascinated you the most. Maybe others will relate, and we can create a great discussion. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content where curiosity knows no limits.